everyone, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be focusing on how I do my makeup for Zoom, and also just a really nice everyday makeup look that actually can be done in 15 minutes. Who knows if this video will actually be 15 minutes long, but the idea is that it's pretty quick and fast, but it'll help you look pretty fresh and glowy for every day. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Purlisse Blue Lotus 4-in-1 I Adore Serum, and I'm going to use that as my eye cream. So I'll go ahead and apply this quickly. One of the things that I do want to state though is that, you know, for everyone who is still doing Zoom meetings or, you know, going out and, you know, going to your job or whatever, you don't feel like you have to wear makeup. This is something that I do every day. I tend to find that, you know, the 15 minutes that it takes for me to get ready in the morning gives me an opportunity to calm myself down and get ready for what the workday is going to give me. But, you know, there are going to be parts of this tutorial that I think, you know, if you're not interested, you certainly don't have to do all the parts. This is just what I do. So I'm going and making sure that all of this is nicely hydrated. Alright. And now we're going to go ahead with a lip balm. This is the Fruit Fetish from Milani in Pumpkin Spice. Which I know technically, okay, we're in January, but hear me out. I still really like this flavor, so I'm just going to smooth this on to keep my lips somewhat hydrated. Okay. And after I've done that, I'm going to go in with a primer. So I actually haven't moisturized my face yet. And the reason for that is because I'm going to be using a tinted moisturizer. But before I put that on, I do want to use a little bit of primer to help my skin. It looks a little bit sallow right now, so I just want to add a little bit of glow to it. So this is the Yensa Tone Up Primer in Essential Glow. I'm just taking a decent amount of that on my ring finger, and I'm going to go ahead and smooth it into my face. Alright, so as you can see, there's a lot of redness in my skin, so I'm actually going to take the Nars Tinted Moisturizer, and I'm going to use that to give myself just a really light layer of coverage. And we'll start with that. Again, going really light on the coverage. I tend to be actually a little bit more oily as the day tends to go on, so I enjoy using a little bit of moisturizer versus a lot. Okay, I'm going to blend this out with an IT Cosmetics brush. And as you can see, this isn't really, you know, this isn't really covering all of my redness. I still have quite a bit left. And as you can see, this giant pimple that I've welcomed into my life overnight. We will cover him up later. So you can see it's kind of evened out my coverage, or evened out my skin tone, giving me a really light layer of coverage. And I'm actually going to hit up all of the spots where I feel like I still have quite a bit of redness peeking through with the Hourglass Vanish foundation stick. This is in the color Warm Ivory, and I'm literally almost kind of using this like a spot concealer. So just putting a light layer of that down and blending again. So just really making sure that it's not streaky, everything is blended in nicely. Okay, I am going to be adding concealer in a bit after I finish my eyebrows and my eyes. And that will hopefully help with a lot of the dark circles that are going on underneath. So, okay. Moving on to eyebrows. I'm actually going to do my brows off camera, and then I will be right back when they are all done. So I just filled in my brows with the Tom Ford Brow Sculptor, and I'm going to move on to my eyeliner. So I always do a like a black waterline on my just on my lower lid here. Lower lid. It's not a lower lid. Well, the lower part of my eye. And the reason for this is because I think it actually opens up my eye. A lot of people feel like it closes up the eye. For me, I think it helps just brighten everything. Well, not brighten anything, but it just kind of adds some definition and allows for my eyes to come forward a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Here we go. And something that I like to do, you're probably wondering why I'm skipping all around, why I just did a little bit of my complexion and then I moved to my eyes. The main reason is because I find that my eyeliner, especially on the waterline, stays a little bit longer. It doesn't smear throughout the day if I do this step first and then go in with my under eye concealer. So just be aware of that. So go ahead. Oh, hello. I have a little bit of a falling up here. No worries, just kind of get rid of that little nubbin over there. And those are half of my eyes done, and you'll see why. Okay, so we're gonna go in now with our concealer, and I'm actually taking two, and the reason for this is because I'm mixing shades a little bit. So I'm taking Beauty Bakerie's Insta-Bake 3-in-1 Concealer in the color 12 Jamsterdam. Cute name, along with the Sephora Bright Future Gel Serum Concealer, and this is in the color 3. So we'll go ahead and open these up and apply. So the lighter color I'm placing right where I feel like I have quite a bit of darkness underneath my eyes. And then I'm going to blend all of that together, or not blend all of it together, but mix it with the Beauty Bakerie. Just right underneath my eye. Anywhere where I feel like there's quite a bit of darkness. And the main reason for this as well is I just want to make my eyes look a little bit brighter, less sallow. Going in with an e.l.f. brush. No, this is a Eco Tools brush. And I'm going to blend that out. So I'm just taking the outer parts here and feathering that out first, and then going in and really packing in that concealer. And making my concealer face as I do this. I'm doing the same thing on the other eye. I have a bit of redness always on the edge of my eye, so I like to cover that as well. Really just blending this out. Anything that I feel like might need a little bit of warmth, I'm using my finger to blend. Although my fingers are currently ice cold right now, but you know. Okay, and whatever is left over on this brush, I'm actually going to take just across my lid, because my lid is looking quite red today as well. I just want to cover that up a tiny bit. Okay, and concealer is blended. Okay, so in terms of my friendly neighborhood pimple, I feel like we should name him. Maybe next time. If he's in the next video, we'll name him, because then we'll know he's here to stay. Okay, I'm going to take Nars Soft Matte Concealer in the color Custard, and I'm just going to place that right over with my finger and just get rid of some of that redness there. Much better. And now we're going to set the under eye concealer. So for that, I'm actually going in with, this is the Alamar Cosmetics, I believe this is their Hydrating Complexion Trio in the color Medium. And it comes with a brightening color that's kind of a banana color, and then 2 contour bronzer shades, which I will be using in this look. So I'm actually going to take that yellow powder, that banana yellow powder here, to use this to set my under eye. It's going to really help brighten everything. You know, sometimes you don't get as much sleep, so this is a helpful product. And I'm really just going in with a really, really light layer. I'm not trying, this isn't a super, super glam look. This isn't me trying to go to a party or anything like that. This is really just what I do on a daily basis. Just setting it down. And then before I go in with all of my color complexion products, because the Tinted Moisturizer and the cream foundation, they're like a little bit more on the wet side, so I like to use a little bit of powder just on the areas where I'm going to lay down bronzer, blush, highlight to make sure that everything blends really, really smoothly. And to do that, I'm going to take the Ciate London Extraordinary Translucent Powder just on those parts of my face. So I'm going to tap this out. Loose powders are always a bit crazy to work with, I feel like. They always get everywhere, but I like the way that this one just kind of allows me to really, really blend in my color complexion products so easily. And I'm not going over my entire face just because I want my face to still have somewhat of a glow to it. I don't want it to be completely mattified down. So I'm really kind of just hitting the points again where I'm going to be blending other products onto it. Ooh, what is up with my hair? There we go. All right, now that I feel like I have a pretty good layer of powder on, I guess that's a good way to describe it. Okay, we're gonna start first with highlight. This is the I Heart Revolution Tasty Peach highlight, which actually smells a little bit like a peach too. One of my favorite highlights, bar none. I think it just goes on really, really beautifully, and we're gonna use this to kind of just bring a little bit of glow back on the face, which I got rid of when I powdered everything down. So just taking a brush and dipping in here. And I'm not afraid of using too much highlight. I tend to really enjoy that look, so, and I have a dog fur on my brush. Okay, all right, here we go. So I'm just really kind of smoothing this on, going a little ham. And I like to do highlight first because then it really guides where I place my blush, and my bronzer. Just a tiny bit down my nose, a little bit on the forehead, on the chin, and on the forehead here. And from here, now I'm going to take that Alamar Hydrating Complexion Trio, the bronzer side of it. I'm probably going to mix both colors actually. As you can see here that there's two. So just dipping in there, really coating that brush. And then taking this, and I like to place my bronzer a little bit higher on my face to really lift everything, make everything look a little bit more, what are the kids calling it these days? Snatched, I guess. Garrett's giving me a really funny look right now. Oh, all right. Just applying that on, bringing it down up my chin just a tiny bit. I have a bit of a double chin situation, so kind of like to add a little bit of a shadow there to just help hide it a little bit. All right. And I am going to take a little bit on my forehead as well. And I am actually just going to go back in with my powder brush, make sure that everything bronzer-wise is nicely blended in. Actually going to take a teensy bit more as well. And I kind of just like to build this step by step. So I generally don't tend to go in really, really hard with my powder products. I like to go in with multiple layers. Unless of course I'm in a rush. It's one of those days where, you know, I've forgotten that I have an 8 a.m. meeting and I need to just, you know, then you go in a little bit faster with your products. But for today, I'll take it a little bit slower. All right, so for blush, I'm gonna go in with the Alamar Colorette Blush Trio. And I'm gonna go in and mix two shades here. I'm gonna mix the Peach Beach and Fruta Bama, these two colors here. And we're gonna go pretty generous, I think, on the blush as well. So I'm placing this again a little bit higher on my face. I'm not gonna smile too hard and place that color like kind of on my apples of my cheeks. I'm just gonna go kind of where my where it comes out a little bit on my cheekbone and just emphasize that. And as you can see, this is really, really, it's a very, very beautiful product. It is very, very pigmented, so you can see that my whole spiel about not going in with too much powder now is kind of, you know. If you really, really like that look of being very, very blushy, you know, you can keep it. For me, I am going to go back in with my powder brush and just blend everything together, including apparently my baby hairs. So I pretty much brought all of that color back onto my face. And what I am going to do for my eyes is I'm going to take a blending brush here. And I'm going to mix both the bronzer and the blush shades that I used and apply that into my crease and all over the lid. So going in first with bronzer, so mixing in these two colors. And just, I'm not doing a lot of precision work with this. I'm just adding a little bit of dimension, a little bit of depth. I just noticed that I have a hair on my face, so I'm going to remove that. Came with one of the makeup brushes, I think. So again, this is not precise work. This is just adding a tiny bit of color, trying to make sure that everything is balanced here. All right. And then we're going to take the blush colors that I used. And these, same brush, not even switching brushes, just using a crease brush. And I'm going to sweep this all over the lid. I'm not even sure if you can see that on the camera. Can you see that? Can I get a zoom? All right, so you can kind of see that I have some color here. Okay. And that actually is pretty much the final look. All I'm going to do now is add some mascara, and then I will be right back to show you the end product. So I just finished up my mascara, the three different mascara products that I used, and yes, I used 3 of them, but hey, this is Eat Sleep Mascara, so it should be expected. The first one is the Marc Jacobs primer, and then I layered Charlotte Tilbury's Pillow Talk push-up lashes over it. And then my lower lashes are the Hourglass's Film Noir Full Spectrum Mascara. So these are the 3 that I used. All really, really great mascaras. Let's go ahead and set my face now. This is the Beauty Bakerie Sweet Grace Baking Spray. And I'm going to do this. Never done this on camera before, so we'll see what it looks like, I guess. I don't need a mirror. Okay. And the setting spray really is just going to help set everything down, make sure everything stays for the full day. The other reason why I really like setting sprays and why I always recommend after you do your makeup to use one is just because I find that it kind of helps all of the powder on your face blend in. It makes it look more seamless and flawless and just beautiful. So yeah, so this is really the final look for everyday makeup. I know you're probably asking where are the lips. Just given the current situation that the world is in right now where we're constantly wearing masks, and yes, technically I know that this is my makeup look for Zoom where I'm not wearing a mask since I'm at home. I just tend to not really wear as many lip products. What I really rely on are all of my trusty lip balms, including the Milani for Fetish, which I had on earlier already. And I think that concludes today's video. So I hope you liked it. I hope you maybe learned something new, if nothing else. Thank you for joining me on today's makeup adventure. So yeah. All right, see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Sorry, is that called baking grease setting spray?
Beauty Bakerie Sweet Grace Baking Spray.
Oh. That said sweet grease baking spray. I'm like, what the?